January 18th, 1969. Morges, Switzerland. Town Hall. 9 a.m. Audrey Hepburn is getting married. For the second time. She's 40 years old. Outside the town hall, photographers wait. Press from around the world. Everyone wants to see what Audrey Hepburn will wear to her wedding. The door opens. Audrey steps out, and the world gasps. She's wearing a pink mini dress, hot pink, above the knee, with a funnel neck, long sleeves, white tights, ballet flats, pink headscarf tied under her chin. She looks like a teenager, not a 40-year-old bride, not the elegant Audrey Hepburn everyone expects. The cameras flash, the reporters whisper, the headline writes itself. Audrey Hepburn shocks in mini dress wedding. This isn't the Audrey the world knows. This isn't Givenchy elegance. This isn't timeless sophistication. This isn't the woman who defined style in the 1950s and 60s. This is desperation. This is insecurity. This is a 40-year-old woman trying to look young enough for her 30-year-old husband. And everyone can see it. The groom is Andrea Dotti, Italian psychiatrist, 9 years younger than Audrey, handsome, charming, a playboy pretending to be serious. He stands next to her in a dark suit, smiling for cameras, already planning his affairs, already thinking about the younger women he'll seduce. But Audrey doesn't know that yet. She thinks this marriage will be different. She thinks Andrea loves her. She thinks the pink mini dress makes her look young enough to keep him. She's wrong. About all of it. This is the story of Audrey Hepburn's second wedding. The pink mini dress that shocked the world. The desperate attempt to look young. The marriage that was doomed from the start. This is the story of what happens when an icon loses herself trying to please a man who will never be satisfied. To understand the pink mini dress, you need to understand how broken Audrey was when she met Andrea Dotti. 1968, Audrey is 39 years old. She's been separated from Mel Ferrer for a year. The divorce will be finalized in December. 14 years of marriage, 14 years of psychological control. 14 years of Mel undermining her confidence, criticizing her choices, making her feel less than. Audrey is damaged. She's lost herself. She doesn't know who she is without a man defining her. She's also terrified of being alone. Her father abandoned her at 6. That wound never healed. She needs to be chosen, needed, wanted. Enter Andrea Dotti. They meet at a dinner party in Greece, summer 1968. Audrey is on a cruise with friends, trying to heal, trying to find herself. Andrea is there. 30 years old, Italian, a psychiatrist working in Rome. He speaks multiple languages. He's cultured, sophisticated, charming, and he's interested in Audrey. Not Audrey Hepburn, the movie star, just Audrey, the woman. That's what he tells her anyway. I don't care about Hollywood, Andrea says. I care about you, the real you. Audrey melts, because that's what she's always wanted. Someone who loves her for herself, not her fame, not her image, just her. They talk all night. Andrea is fascinated by her, asks questions about her childhood, her war experiences, her fears, her dreams. He's a psychiatrist. He knows how to make people feel seen, feel understood. It's his profession, his skill. And Audrey, vulnerable and lonely, falls for it completely. By the end of the evening, Andrea has her phone number, her private number, the one she doesn't give to anyone. He calls the next day, and the day after, and the day after that. Within 2 weeks, they're in a relationship. Within 2 months, Andrea is talking about marriage. Audrey's friends are concerned. You just met him. You're not even divorced yet. Slow down. But Audrey doesn't want to slow down. She's 40 in May. She feels old. She feels like this is her last chance at happiness. Andrea is younger, energetic. He makes her feel young, desired, beautiful. She ignores the warning signs, the way Andrea talks about other women, the way he flirts with waitresses, the way his eyes follow young girls walking by. She tells herself, he's Italian. They're all like that. It doesn't mean anything. But it means everything. October 1968. Andrea proposes. They're in Rome, his apartment, nothing romantic, just, we should get married. Audrey says yes immediately, before he can change his mind, before she can think too hard about it. Her divorce from Mel isn't even finalized yet, but she's already planning her next wedding, December 1968. The divorce from Mel becomes official. 14 years, over. Audrey keeps the house in Switzerland. Mel gets nothing but his freedom. Audrey immediately calls Andrea. We can get married now, officially. Andrea suggests January. Small ceremony, town hall, no press, just them. Audrey agrees, but she wants one thing. She wants Givenchy to design her dress. These forgotten stories deserve to be told. If you think so too, subscribe and like this video. Thank you for keeping these memories alive. Hubert de Givenchy has been her designer for 14 years, since Sabrina. He's more than a designer. He's her closest friend, her confidant, the person who knows her better than almost anyone. Audrey calls him in Paris. Hubert, I'm getting married again. Will you design my dress? Givenchy is quiet. Too quiet. Audrey, are you sure about this? You barely know this man. I love him, Audrey says. And he loves me. What does he do? He's a psychiatrist. How old is he? 30. Silence. Givenchy doesn't say what he's thinking. That Andrea is 9 years younger. That he's probably attracted to her fame. That this is a mistake. Instead, he says, what kind of dress do you want? Audrey thinks about this. Her first wedding to Mel was traditional. Pierre Balmain. T-length. Voluminous sleeves. Very 1950s. Very proper. Very safe. That marriage failed. Maybe she needs something different. Something modern. Something that proves she's not old. Not over. Not finished. I want something young, Audrey says. Something that shows I'm still relevant. Givenchy understands. Audrey is insecure. She thinks Andrea might leave her for someone younger if she doesn't prove she can keep up. I'll design something perfect, Givenchy promises. What he designs is a pink mini dress, hot pink. Above the knee, funnel neck, long sleeves, modern, youthful. Exactly what Audrey asked for. When Audrey sees it, she hesitates. Hubert, do you think... Is it too young for me? You asked for young, Givenchy reminds her. This is young. But I'm 40. And you're Audrey Hepburn. You can wear whatever you want. But can she? Can a 40-year-old woman wear a mini dress in 1969 without looking desperate? Without looking like she's trying too hard? Audrey doesn't know. But she wants to believe Givenchy. wants to believe she can pull it off. She says yes to the dress. January 17th, 1969. The day before the wedding. Audrey is in Switzerland. The dress arrived from Paris yesterday. She tries it on again, looks at herself in the mirror. The dress is beautiful. Givenchy's construction is flawless. The pink is vibrant. The silhouette is modern. But Audrey sees something else. She sees a woman pretending to be younger than she is. She sees desperation. She sees fear. She calls her son Sean. He's 9 years old now, living with her in Switzerland. "What do you think, darling? Do I look nice?" Sean looks at his mother. "You look different." Different good or different bad? Just different. Not like you. Audrey's heart sinks. Even her 9-year-old son can see it. This isn't her. This isn't her style. This isn't who she is. But it's too late. The wedding is tomorrow. The guests are arriving. Andrea is expecting her. She can't back out now. That night, Audrey calls Givenchy in Paris. "Hubert, I made a mistake. The dress is wrong. I need something else. There's no time to make another dress, Audrey. But I look ridiculous. I look like I'm trying to be 20. You look beautiful," Givenchy insists. "You always look beautiful." "I look desperate." Givenchy doesn't argue. Because she's right. The dress is desperate. It's a 40-year-old woman trying to compete with the 20-year-olds Andrea flirts with. But Givenchy also knows Audrey won't cancel the wedding, won't admit she's making a mistake, won't listen to anyone who tells her Andrea is wrong for her. "Wear the dress," Givenchy says gently. "Own it. Make it yours." Audrey wants to believe him, but she can't. She knows tomorrow will be a disaster. She knows the press will tear her apart. She knows she'll regret this. But she wears the dress anyway. January 18th, 1969. 9 a.m., Morges Town Hall. Audrey stands in front of the mirror. The pink mini dress, white tights, ballet flats, pink headscarf. She looks young, too young. Trying too hard young. Her makeup is minimal. As always, her hair is pulled back under the scarf. Simple. Clean. But the dress screams. "Look at me. I'm young, I'm fun, I'm not 40, I'm not old, I'm not past my prime." Andrea doesn't notice, or doesn't care. He's focused on the ceremony, on making it official, on securing Audrey Hepburn as his wife. The ceremony is brief, civil. No church, no romance, just paperwork. The official asks, "Do you, Audrey Kathleen Hepburn, take Andrea Paolo Mario Dotti to be your lawfully wedded husband?" Audrey hesitates. Just for a second. Just long enough for Andrea to notice. Then she says, "I do." Andrea doesn't hesitate. "I do." They're married. Officially, legally. They step outside. The press is waiting. Cameras ready. Notebooks open. Audrey takes Andrea's arm, smiles, tries to look happy, tries to look like this was the right decision. The cameras flash. The reporters shout questions. "Audrey! What made you choose a mini dress? Audrey, aren't you worried you're too old for that style? Audrey, is it true your husband is 9 years younger?" Audrey keeps smiling, but her eyes show the truth. She's embarrassed, exposed, vulnerable. The photos that appear in newspapers the next day are brutal. Audrey Hepburn, 40, weds in shocking mini dress. Hepburn tries to look young for younger husband. Where is the elegant Audrey we know? The fashion critics are even worse. Vogue. Audrey Hepburn has always been a style icon. But her wedding day mini dress was a rare misstep. She looked like she was trying to recapture youth instead of embracing her age with grace. Harper's Bazaar. The pink mini dress was wrong for Audrey. Wrong for the occasion. Wrong for a woman of 40. She deserves better than this desperate attempt at youth. Time magazine. Audrey Hepburn's pink mini dress wedding will be remembered for all the wrong reasons. Even Givenchy's team is defensive. One assistant tells reporters, "Audrey specifically requested a youthful design. We gave her exactly what she wanted." Translation: This isn't our fault. She asked for this. Audrey reads every review, every criticism, every cruel comment, and she knows they're right. She made a mistake, a public mistake. A mistake that will be photographed and remembered forever. The honeymoon is in the Bahamas, 2 weeks, private villa, just Audrey and Andrea. It should be romantic. Perfect. The start of their new life together. Instead, it's the beginning of Audrey's nightmare. The first warning sign comes on day 3. They're at dinner, beach restaurant, candlelight. Should be romantic. Andrea's eyes follow the waitress. Young, maybe 22, blonde, beautiful. "Andrea," Audrey says quietly. "She's our waitress." "I know," Andrea says, not looking away. "I'm just appreciating beauty. You're on your honeymoon, and you're 40. I can still look at other women." Audrey goes cold. That's the first time Andrea mentions her age as a negative, as a limitation, as a reason he needs to look elsewhere. It won't be the last. Day 5. They're on the beach. Audrey in a swimsuit, conservative, one piece, age appropriate. Andrea sees a group of young women nearby. Bikinis, tanned, laughing. "I'm going for a walk," he says. He walks toward the young women, starts talking to them, flirting, right in front of Audrey. She sits on the beach alone, 40 years old, in her pink mini dress wedding photos, married to a man who's already bored with her. The honeymoon ends. They return to Rome, Andrea's city, his territory. He's arranged for them to live in an apartment in central Rome, near his practice, near his friends, near his life. Audrey wanted to stay in Switzerland, near Sean, near her home, near safety. But Andrea insisted. "We live in Rome. My work is here. You'll adjust." Audrey adjusts. She always adjusts. She's been adjusting her whole life to her father's abandonment, to Mel's control, now to Andrea's indifference. Rome is beautiful, but it's not home. Audrey is isolated. She doesn't speak Italian fluently, doesn't know Andrea's friends, doesn't fit into his world, and Andrea makes no effort to include her. He goes to work, comes home late, goes out with friends, leaves Audrey alone. When she complains, he says, "You're too clingy. I need space. I'm not Mel. I won't control you." But control comes in many forms. Mel controlled through criticism. Andrea controls through absence. March 1969, 2 months married. Audrey finds evidence of Andrea's first affair. Lipstick on his collar. Classic, cliché, devastating. She confronts him. "Who is she?" "A patient," Andrea admits. It meant nothing. "You're having affairs already?" "We've been married 2 months." "I'm Italian. This is normal. You're American. You don't understand." "I'm not American. I'm European. And affairs are not normal for a marriage." Andrea shrugs. "They are for my marriage." That's when Audrey realizes. The pink mini dress didn't work. Looking young didn't work. Marrying a younger man didn't work. Andrea was never going to be faithful. Not to her, not to anyone. She was foolish to think a dress could change that. The marriage lasts 13 years. Not because it's good, because Audrey is stubborn and pregnant. May 1969. 4 months after the wedding, Audrey discovers she's pregnant. She's 40 years old. She's had 5 miscarriages. This might be her last chance. Andrea is thrilled. Finally, a child. Audrey is terrified. At 40, with her history, this is high risk. The doctors recommend complete bed rest, so Audrey spends 9 months in bed. In Rome, away from Sean, away from Switzerland, away from everything familiar. Andrea visits occasionally, between work, between affairs, between his other life. February 8th, 1970. Luca Dotti is born, healthy, perfect, Audrey's miracle baby. She thinks, this will fix everything. Andrea will settle down, be a father, be a husband. She's wrong. If you want more untold stories like this, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. Your support means everything to us. Andrea loves Luca, but he loves other women more. The affairs continue, escalate, become public. Italian paparazzi follow Andrea, photograph him with different women, younger than Audrey, sometimes younger than 20. The photos appear in tabloids. Andrea Dotti seen with mystery brunette. Audrey Hepburn's husband spotted with young model. Dotti's latest conquest. Audrey sees every photo, every headline, every betrayal. Friends tell her, leave him. You don't deserve this. But Audrey stays. Because leaving means admitting failure. Admitting the pink mini dress wedding was a mistake. Admitting she chose wrong. And Audrey Hepburn doesn't admit mistakes publicly. 1978. 9 years into the marriage, Andrea has had an estimated 200 affairs. Audrey is 49. She looks older. The stress, the betrayals, the humiliation. One night she takes sleeping pills, more than prescribed. Maybe accidentally, maybe not. Her son Sean, 18 years old, comes home, finds her. Bloodshot eyes, barely conscious. She tells him everything. About Andrea, about the affairs, about the pain. Details no child should hear, Sean later says. But Audrey can't hold it in anymore. She's been pretending for 9 years, smiling for cameras, acting like everything is fine. She's not fine. She's broken. Sean helps her, gets her through the night, makes her promise to leave Andrea. Audrey promises. But it takes 4 more years. 1982. 13 years after the pink mini dress wedding. Audrey finally files for divorce. Andrea doesn't fight it. He's already moved on. Younger girlfriend, younger life. The divorce is finalized. Audrey keeps Luca. Andrea gets visitation rights he never uses. Sean later says, Andrea never made use of his visitation rights. He wasn't interested in being a father. He was interested in being Andrea. Audrey moves back to Switzerland, to her home, to safety, to herself. The pink mini dress is packed away, deep in a closet. She never looks at it again. 1987, 5 years after the divorce. Audrey is being interviewed for a fashion retrospective. The interviewer asks, "What's your biggest fashion regret?" Audrey doesn't hesitate. "My second wedding dress, the pink mini." "Why?" "It was Givenchy. It was beautiful." "It was desperate," Audrey corrects. I was 40 years old wearing a teenager's dress because I was terrified my 30-year-old husband would leave me for someone younger. That's not fashion. That's fear. Do you still have the dress? Yes. In a closet. I'll never wear it again. Never even look at it. It reminds me of the worst decision I ever made. Marrying Andrea? Trying to be something I wasn't to please a man who was never going to be pleased. The interviewer presses. But the dress itself, objectively, was it beautiful? Audrey considers this. The dress was beautiful. Givenchy is incapable of making something ugly. But beauty isn't the same as appropriate. That dress was inappropriate. For my age, for the occasion, for who I am. I should have worn something elegant, timeless, me. Instead, I wore something young, trendy, not me. What would you wear now? If you could go back? Something simple, cream, tea length, classic, age appropriate. Something that says, I'm 40, I'm confident. I'm not trying to be 20. Take me as I am, or don't take me at all. And if Andrea didn't like that, then Andrea wasn't the right man, which he wasn't. The interview appears in Vogue. The quote becomes famous. Fashion students study it. The pink mini dress becomes a cautionary tale. Not about Givenchy, about desperation, about women trying to look young to keep men who aren't worth keeping. 1993. Audrey dies. Among her belongings, her sons find the pink mini dress, still in the closet, never worn again. Sean considers keeping it. It's Givenchy, it's historic, it's worth money. But he remembers his mother's words. It reminds me of the worst decision I ever made. So he donates it to a museum with a note. My mother wanted this dress to serve as a reminder. Not all of her fashion choices were perfect, and that's okay. Perfection is impossible. Humanity is inevitable. The dress is displayed with that note. Visitors read it. Some are confused, some are moved, some understand. Audrey Hepburn, fashion icon, made a mistake. Wore the wrong dress. For the wrong reasons. To please the wrong man, and she spent the rest of her life regretting it. Not because the dress was ugly, because the choice was wrong. The motivation was fear. The marriage was doomed. The pink mini dress wasn't a fashion statement. It was a cry for help. A plea to be loved. A desperate attempt to be enough. Audrey Hepburn was always enough. But she didn't believe it. Not in 1969. Not when she married Andrea. Not when she wore that dress. It took her 13 years. 13 years of affairs, betrayals, humiliations. To learn, you can't dress young enough to make a bad man good. You can't look beautiful enough to make an unfaithful man faithful. The only person you need to please is yourself. Audrey learned that lesson. Finally. After the divorce, after the pink mini dress was packed away, she spent her final years in simple clothes, comfortable, age-appropriate, herself. No more trying to be young, no more trying to be what men wanted. No more desperate pink mini dresses. Just Audrey, finally, at last. And that was more beautiful than any dress could ever be. This is Audrey Hepburn, The Hidden Truth. From wartime horrors to Hollywood secrets, we uncover what they've been hiding for decades. Subscribe to discover the dark truth behind the elegant image.